Hey,
Hey, what's up, man?
hey, how's it going?
Good, dude. How are you?
All right, all right. Can you see me?
I can't see you. I can hear you super
Oh,
good though.
wait for it.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, buddy.
It's good to see you, man.
You too. What's up?
Man, not a whole lot.
Yeah, right.
I yeah, I don't know about you, but I was thinking about this like right before we hopped on. Like, I'm really enjoying right now. Like, I'm getting tons of stuff done. I'm being productive. I'm exercising. I mean, literally. I mean, just like staying motivated and having a schedule is really the hardest part.
Yeah, right. No, it's been rough.
Yeah.
Although this is the first time in 18 years that I haven't had a crazy April and May. Usually it's just, spring show and then every single event in the center. I ain't got nothing.
Man, I was trying to explain to somebody like what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I mean, honestly, it's just such a big amount of hats
Yeah, yeah.
that you wear. But man, that's one thing about that title, which you are just like a technical director by trade now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Like,
it.
you have to do it all,
Yeah.
like everything, the whole show, lights, audio,
Well,
cues.
in charge of it all, right? But I have a team most
Well,
of the
I
time.
mean, but you have, I mean, I've been around you. You have that knowledge.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
if you had to, I mean, yeah, you have to delegate everything out or whatever. I guess you're like the government of the show.
yeah. I wouldn't go.
But way more efficient. Way more efficient.
Yeah, there you go. No, I still do get to teach a couple of classes, but I don't have to teach intro or acting. I just do tech theater now. Focus
Nice.
on those kids specifically.
And you guys got to go to the festival this year. I saw you did extremely well, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Every year we
Congrats.
do the Arkansas State Thespian Festival. We usually, I mean, we're down to where we host it now every other year in Russellville. So that's a huge deal. I think we had almost 1,500 in attendance this year. So that
Wow.
brings in 50 or so different schools that come into our community and use hotels, restaurants, everything. So it's actually a really good thing for us. It's always in February. This year it was at Jonesboro at A State University and the Red Wolf Convention Center. It's the first year we've ever gone to a convention center. And it was their first big convention. They just opened like in December. So it was a learning experience for everybody.
Yeah, Jonesboro just got hit pretty hard with some
They did.
tornadoes the other day. I
Yeah,
saw.
I did check on all my friends. Luckily, everybody that I know um, was unscathed by it, so that's good for me. But yeah, I mean, tornado downtown, dude. I can't imagine.
That's wild. Well, you remember in Clarksville a few years back over there by the that Dodger dog store with the chicken and stuff. There was
Oh
a big
yeah,
one that came through there, which is not downtown, but dang, it's pretty close.
next to El Perion, dude. Everybody goes there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, what else is new, man? Have you been doing anything cool in the downtime, or did you have anything cool you were doing before the downtime?
We were gearing up. This is my oldest daughter's senior year. It's Avery's senior year.
Wow.
I'm right. She was how old when you were in school?
An infant. Do you remember one time Trent Wood was like, I remember, like, made said something like, "I remember you before you were born,"
Yeah,
like something like totally weird and awkward, but it was
Trent would say.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she was an infant when I was
Right. Yeah.
in
She
tenth
was
grade.
she was born in 2002, so she was small. When did you graduate?
I graduated in '06, so I had you for the first time in '03 or '04.
So she would just be a
Yeah,
baby. Well,
yeah.
she's a senior now, so we've been doing, looking for colleges and figuring out. Man, it is so different now. When I went to tech back in 1994,
Before the internet was invented.
Right? Yeah. It was um tuition was like $700, and now it's, oh
It's
my,
outrageous, man. And why
ridiculous.
do they need a bailout? They're talking about how tight things are, and I'm like, yeah, things are tight for me too because of my student loan debt.
That's right.
I mean, they're not like, but we pay an insane amount because we're gonna have it paid off in like another couple of 4 years.
Yeah.
But man, it is tuition's only gone up since
Oh,
you've been in, and then
so
since
much
I've
more.
been in.
So much more. And she picked a private university, so that's fun.
Where's she looking at? In state?
Yeah, OBU.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I've
doing,
had Jeremy Goodman went there briefly.
for real.
If my memory serves me correctly, he went to OBU and then transferred. I think graduated from Tech in the end. But yeah, he went there for a brief amount of time, and then one of my guys from the gym graduated from there.
I know a few of Russellville kids, well, an Alma kid and a couple of Russellville kids that have gone there and really liked it. They've got a really good theater program, which Avery's kind of into theater.
Where'd she get that?
I mean, of course she's in the theater, right? She had the lead in the musical that hasn't been done yet this semester.
Yeah, well, yeah, and not only is she into theater, I've seen some of her recitals and
Oh yeah, choir. That's what she's going to college to do, choral education.
I tell Cora all the time, like I remember you kind of being, not so into athletics back in the day, which, now I'm the same way. Like honestly, like we're like family planning mode, and I'm like, yes, my child is going to be like Dan Stahl's child. She will do these things and not these things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to have a plan, but kids are going to do what kids do.
I know, man. That's what it ultimately comes down to. I hope that they go the liberal fine arts route and not the maybe you'll be one of the top 5 or 11 people and get to play.
I mean, there's something to be said about sports and being in good physical condition. That's a good. I mean, I miss that part about sports, but yeah, the arts is, I don't know. It just uses different parts of your brain, I think, which are very important.
Yeah. When man, that's what like for me, martial arts is like the ultimate unifier of what we're talking about with
it's called arts, but it's so physical.
Yeah. Well, and like Cora, when she was in junior high, she played basketball.
Yeah.
And this like did not obtain any self-worth through that. If anything, had her self-worth diminished.
Really?
And goes on later to become amateur world champion kickboxer twice.
She's so awesome.
She is, man. And I just, I guess it's a coach's job, I think, to awaken that in people or what have you. But that just wasn't awoken in her at the time. And I think that martial arts is just kind of unique. It's an individual thing versus a team thing too. But you kind of have the team thing. It's kind of like golf, but way cooler.
Yeah. Or NASCAR driving.
Oh man. Like I have a guy that I know I'm friends with that like he gets pumped about the 500-mile race they do. I'm just like, dude, do you just watch him drive for 500 miles? Takes like all day.
Right.
Like,
and they only turn left.
Yeah.
Like, where's the excitement? I guess when somebody crashes, I don't know.
Which happens, I guess, like every time. It's wild. Yeah. So what do you think education's going to be like for high school after this?
Yeah, I saw a post yesterday that a school, Westside. Did you see that?
4 days.
A 4-day school week. What?
I'll have some of that. I'm trying to teach one of those. I'm teaching all my 5 college classes online now.
Really?
And I'm teaching supposedly face-to-face next semester. But I think that after that, it will switch to when I go to, because I'd already made my schedule for next semester and didn't have any onlines. I was developing my courses, but now I have them all developed.
Yeah.
So I don't think there will really be much time after this kind of initial wave where I teach face-to-face very much.
Right. No, it's going to take longer than a lot of, personally, I think it's going to take longer to recover from this than a lot of people are giving credit to.
Well, the individual industries and that have been hit with this,
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's what all the speculation education. If they're going to need a bailout, the housing market. Yeah, there's a lot of restaurant industry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Oh,
like
all those artists that aren't performing right now, or techies that aren't teching right now.
Yeah. Do you know Neil Harrington?
Huh.
He runs the art gallery at Tech, but he's a local artist. He's in a local band. But he's a professor and he's been doing commissions. He's like these hand-drawn commissions. I got one for the new podcast studio he's going to do, but he's giving half of all of his money for the commissions to local artists who are just
that's awesome.
They're hit the hardest right now.
That's good.
Yeah. Plus it's like, man, I've got some odd requests on like, yeah, I need you to draw this thing for me with all of this stuff I love in it. I love these 12 things.
Yeah.
Put them all together. But man, that's like with the podcast studio, I got some cool stuff, man. Like, check this out. There's like an inset bookshelf we built. When you first walk into the door, I'm gonna put all my Star Wars action figures on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this at your new gym? Your new place?
Yeah. It has a studio entirely separate, but it's inside the gym. But you can't go from the studio to the gym. You have to go outside.
Yeah.
So it has its own front door access to the studio, in and out.
Put soundproofing in?
Man, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work with that. If peak classes are going on, plus another thing is the floors. I had them stained, but they're concrete, so I'm gonna need to do some acoustic panels and some different things in there to mitigate that. A rug. Yeah. But the goal, I'm looking at new audio equipment right now. I'm gonna get a mixer with an interface and start trying to do like one tiny desk concert a month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, just basically have some people come in, like maybe yourself, maybe have you guys come in. You do a little podcast, talk about your music, and then you play, and boom. Yeah, everything's kind of just plug and play,
like a little stage kind of thing.
Yeah. Joe Rogan's done those a few times, and some people that's all they do is these little tiny desk concerts, and I do a music Unraveled show. And, yeah. So where we just like listen to albums or review concerts we went to, or talk about bands or whatever it is, just music. Like Ben Aiken's going to come on and we're just going to talk about his music and listen to some of it live and stuff. So he's been on once before, but
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but man, that's what's cool about the podcast. Is kind of spin off all the interest. Just like put whatever my interest is and put Unraveled after it. It's a spin-off show, man.
Baloney Unraveled.
Yeah. So Thurman and Julie Storian, they've been collaborating with the podcast quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thurman. Well, they're gonna be doing kind of like a spin-off show of their own at the new location, like an Arkansas Unraveled. Wow. All Arkansas specific topics. Yeah.
Huh. Like a spin-off of yours then.
Basically, yeah. And I'm wanting to do more of that, like make it more of a collective, but just kind of upload everything to the central location.
I could do theater Unraveled. Huh?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Education Unraveled.
Yeah. Well,
I'd get in trouble.
Well, man, I have, just because I guess that's the industry I'm in, I sit down with a lot of professors and teachers. That's kind of who I dig talking to the most, honestly. I've had a lot of former professors on the podcast, and so got a guy that I'm trying to get that's out of Ohio to come on the podcast. Everybody's a Zoom expert now. We do these video podcasts just out of nowhere. Everybody's an expert.
You do them anywhere you want, right?
Well, yeah, that's now I can. Well, man, like I know, like I talked to you about doing a podcast a few times, but dude, we're both super busy. This is the ideal way to do it.
Oh yeah, for real.
So yeah, man. So what's some stuff that that you do, man? Like, tell people listening, like I was kind of joking about a second ago, but like, what all does your job actually entail?
What is
And
a
I'm going to
technical
shut
director?
up and let you talk for a while on that one.
Oh wow. Okay, so it all starts at an event when people rent the building or rent just the theater or the black box theater or whatever at the Center for the Arts in the Russellville High School campus. Little plug there.
There you go.
Um, they put down, we need a microphone. Well, then I have to figure out, what do you need a microphone for? Is it a podium mic? Or are you going to walk around? People usually don't think about, I'm renting a building. I know I want people to hear me, but then it's my job to figure out, how do you want people to hear you? You want a face mic, lapel mic, stick mic? You want me to follow you around? Whatever. I don't know. So we have to figure out what they want, how they're going to be lit. Nobody thinks about lighting, they think just turn the lights on. That's all I need. Well, there's a little more involved with that, because the lights on stage, every one of them have to be pointed at something, and you have to put a color in it or have a color behind them, whatever. So just every event has so many variables that I have to figure out what they need. And, it's different event to event, because sometimes if it's just like a school assembly, principal needs a microphone. That's it. So I give him a mic. And then we have, if we bring in a toured event, where I need stage hands. So I get my kids to come in 7 o'clock in the morning and help unload a truck so these people can do their show on my stage. They've sent me a rider, which means they want this kind of light set up, and they want curtains in at a certain spot, and a whole lot of things that we have to do to prep for these events. And it just depends on the event, what they want, how many people are coming, what kind of event it is, that kind of stuff.
So you got to be able to do that on the fly, no matter.
Well, we try to do as much before as we can. Like when they sign a contract to rent the building, it says you must contact the technical director at least 1 week ahead of time, so that I can schedule personnel if I need to, or I can work things in my schedule. Like if this event is here and this event is here, I can go ahead and hang some lights here to be ready for this event, that kind of thing. So planning ahead is a big deal for us. And we try to do it as much as possible.
But it's different pretty much like every time is what.
Yeah. It is. Even when you have these end of the year graduations, like fourth grade graduation or kindergarten graduation, one principal wants it set up this way, and another principal who's coming in the afternoon to do theirs wants it set up a completely different way. So we have to change out while they're exiting the building, change it so we can have the next one load in the building really fast.
Do you have an assistant?
I do, actually. We hired Jason Han. You know Jason Han?
I don't know.
Jason Han's done community theater since 1993, I think he said. I mean, so the dude's been around and he knows his theater. He worked at Cal Steel for 18 years.
Wow. They're right next door. Their older location's right next door to the new gym we just bought.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you know we bought a new location?
I did. I've seen pictures of you loading in and everything.
Yeah.
So he came in. So I've worked with Jason since I started community theater in 2000. And he actually helped me start a business in 2001, 2002. It was called Black Hat Productions.
Yeah, that's when you're doing your production company.
Yeah. So we've worked together forever. And then finally, they let me hire an assistant because we renovated Gardner Auditorium to be used a little bit. We haven't finished yet. We're kind of pausing right now to see how they want to use it. But he's going to be the main technician at Gardner Auditorium and assist me when I need it. So it's a very exciting time for us to have somebody like that. And he came in, he was a draftsman at Cal Steel. So he came in with all of this drafting knowledge. We did a set. I designed the set for Once Upon a Mattress, which is supposed to be this month. And he went into AutoCAD, put it in AutoCAD, and made like a 3D model that we could put color on and stuff and light it different. So we could show the director, this is what it's going to look like. And she's like, what? Because usually it's just, me hand drawing all of my drafts. And she's like, you didn't tell me there's going to be a step. See this line right here? That was a step. I don't know what lines are. So showing her this 3D model was really cool. And I have a student that's trying to print the 3D model.
Oh, cool.
So we're going, I mean, this is a whole new territory now for building sets. We have an actual plastic 3D model that we can hold in our hands.
That's
I'm
amazing.
really excited about that. Yeah. But Jason's there to help out. He's good with lights. He's learning the systems that we have because, you know, every theater's got different systems. So he's learning everything we've got still, and he's doing real good. I'm real excited about it.
Man, how does all these things that I'm sure keep you super busy with what you're talking about with events, how does that differ from when you are working on a show?
Well, I like to block out 3 weeks in the theater for the show. So when we're doing this, and luckily there aren't a whole lot of events toward the end of March, 1st of April. I mean, there are a few, and some of them, like we have a big band event the 1st of April every year. But once the orchestra shell is set up in the theater, they don't really need me anymore. So I can go into my shop, you know, while that's going on, and we can build and start creating things that when we do have the space again 3 weeks before our show, we can bring all the pieces on the stage and assemble our set like that. And the kids are always designing, they're always working, you know. We do all the paperwork before, so the kids are working on their designs in class, after school, that kind of stuff. So we don't necessarily have to be in the space to get a lot of the design stuff ready.
Are you still directing at all, or are you just doing 2D work?
I've directed a few shows at Russellville. I did Boeing several years ago, and then we did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, saw that.
We did that. Avery was in it, so that was fun. When we did it at Clarksville. I think she was 5 years old or 7. She was really young. And she said, "Dad, I want to do that show someday." So I said, "Okay, we'll do it." So I talked to Stephanie Schulte, our director at Russellville, and said, "I would like to do this show in the fall, you know, not to take away her big musical in the spring. I'll just add the show, basically." So I took 6 kids and my handful of my techies, and we did it. And then we performed for the state at festival to be adjudicated to go to nationals. So that was fun. So my kids got to perform in front of the entire state of Arkansas thespians one night at festival 2 years ago. That was a lot of fun. And I'll direct again. I can't remember the other show I did.
Man, how many shows have you done? Do you have a tally in your head?
Shows I've been involved with?
Or shows you directed? How about that?
Directed? No. I mean, I did most of my stuff at Clarksville, and I taught there for 9 years, and we did at least 3 a year, including the Drama 1 play. Sometimes 4 a year. I don't know, 30.
You had enough for T-shirts to go all the way around the top of the room.
That's right. They went all the way. Have you been in there recently?
No.
They kept it going. They still have them there.
Well, actually, you know, they did have me come in and talk for this thing. Mr. King had me come in, and I got to hang out and stuff. I don't know if it was what the talk they were looking for. I was like, "Hey, I don't have anything figured out, but I'm killing it up here. You guys got this." But anyway, it's I got to go back and kind of see everybody. Had lunch with Mr. King, Coach Lewis, and I gave that talk on the Fine Arts Center stage.
Oh yeah.
So it was kind of cool to be back. That was a couple years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think the last time you were on that stage, you were probably in high heels, right?
Could have.
No, that was the other guy.
Yeah, I didn't wear high heels. I wore striped overalls. Okay?
That's right.
No, but I did. I had the Viking helmets.
Right.
With yeah, good times.
That's a good show.
My dad brought that up the other day. Like my parents came and saw that show, and they loved it. They still talk about it.
That was a Arkansas playwright, local to Clarksville, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Burley Shook, the guy that character is based off of, my dad, he worked at the same company my dad worked for years.
I didn't know it was a real person.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Burley Shook, dude. He's a real guy. I worked with him too during the summers and stuff when I was in high school, and I didn't piece all that
No.
together until because yeah, Rhonda
Yeah.
Shook.
Shook. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the real Burley passed away like a few years back.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
Wow.
yeah.
That's funny.
There's some other character in the play that is based on somebody my dad said he knew.
Ardith.
I don't know.
There was, I mean, I don't know if we changed her name when we did it, but there's a character named Ardith who was based on Ardith. Yeah.
Man, I want to have Ardith on the podcast.
Yeah.
That is a plan. So I'm gonna have I had Aaron Clare on, so I'm gonna have David Eshelman on too, just to get all you theater people out of the way.
Yeah. We're all different. I'll tell you that.
I know, right? But that's, man, just like to add to the diversity of what I'm doing with the show. It's cool to sit down and talk to all these different people from these different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So how does what you're doing, like you directed for a long time, and I know while you were directing, you were kind of pretty much technical directing too, for the most part, pretty much doing it all at that time. And I guess now you have fewer directing responsibilities, but what's some of the main ways that what you did, like back when I was knowing you and after too, after I graduated and stuff, because you worked at Clarksville for a long time, like what's different about then and now, like directing versus just technical directing?
The space is completely different. The theater is completely different. There's so much more now that I have to mess with, and we've really upped our game. The things we can do now, I never even dreamed of doing them at Clarksville. So the technical game has really been upped. So
is that everywhere? Like is Clarksville and other or are other programs doing those same things you guys are doing?
Yeah. I mean, we've got a bigger theater than Clarksville, and we have like a fly system, which Clarksville doesn't have. But I think every theater's been stepping up a lot, especially with the advent of LED lights. It's so much easier and more cost effective to buy LED, and you can do cooler things with them, which means it takes more time to program to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with the technology getting better, the amount of time we have to spend using that technology has gone up too. So I can focus just on technical things and let somebody else focus on all the acting things. And when we come together, it's great. It's awesome. Have you seen one of our shows?
I haven't seen it. Ooh, okay. So I saw when Cora did the Faywood show, but that was not.
Oh yeah. No,
that was in a smaller area. Like I'd been in that area. Like I want to say I came by to see you at Russellville one time, and you like gave me a little tour. I think I was doing observations there when I was in my undergraduate or something.
Okay. Yeah, that was our black box theater, which is really cool space. I love that space.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you can do anything you want.
Yeah. So why was it just a job being available? Like, why'd you make the switch from one role to the other? Did you always want to do this? Like what?
The money.
Did it all for the Benjamins, yo?
That's right. No, it was a combination of things. They were building a brand new theater, which is when I went to Clarksville, they built the brand new theater. Everywhere I go, they just build me a theater, which is great.
Are they going to build another one? Somebody's asking me, like, what is the new high school? Is the new high school going to have in Clarksville going to have another fine arts building?
No, not from what I've heard. They still are using the Fine Arts Center up at the junior high.
I know, that's the thing, and I mean, it would suit well, I'm sure, with their population as a junior high fine arts center.
Yeah,
I'm sure they could utilize it.
It does take. I mean, it would be really cool if they could build a smaller theater and put more into the actual workings of the theater, but do less seats because a theater show is not going to sell. That theater holds 1,500 people. Well, you're not going to sell 1,500 tickets to a theater, a play. So if you built a smaller, but Jen has been doing really good, a smaller 500 seat theater or something, you know, then you could have your smaller events over there, and then all your big whatevers, band concerts and stuff in the big theater.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're doing with Gardner. We're hoping it's going to be used for some smaller events.
And RSD owns that property still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the adult education building. And the
Meredith, a friend of mine, I believe, she runs she works for this nonprofit that is involved with like adult literacy and like the Adult Learning Alliance or something like that. They're based. She does some work out of there.
Yeah.
So also another guy that's on the podcast, I believe he teaches some classes or something over there. Eli Craner. Do you know him?
I don't.
So you got Josh Wilson introduced me to him. Josh has been on the podcast several times.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. A few times. He dressed up as a Jedi last time he was on.
Of course.
Wore Jedi robes. Like he just showed up. I opened my front door and he was in Jedi robes, man. Oh. Well, man, here's a serious one for you. How and why did you get into theater?
Okay, so I tell my kids this story. I was a speech major in college, and in one of those classes I had to take what are those classes where you have to do 3 different things in a semester? What's it called? I had to do 3 different classes in one semester, and one of those little bricks was stagecraft, intro to stagecraft or something, some crazy class. So I went in, and one of the assignments was, or maybe this was stagecraft 1. Anyway, I was in a theater class for some reason, and she said, go measure this piece of wood, cut it, and install it here in this whatever we were building. So I went and measured it, and I cut it, and I took it over, and I screwed it in and went, whoa, it fit. It's the first time I'd ever planned, you know what I mean? Because when you're a kid, you build a fort, you just grab whatever you can and throw it together and hope it sticks. So I measured it, and I cut it, and I put it in place and went, I can build things. I can create, I can make. And ever since then, I love building things. I have a hard time designing, which has been more apparent to me in the last few years than ever before. But once we have a good idea of what we want, I like to build it. I like it a lot. And so that's what got me kind of going into theater. And then directing. I love directing. I love creating. Telling a story with words that are provided, and then actors as a medium. I just like putting them together and creating a story, a visual story, you know? I can't write to save my life, can't draw to save my life, but I can put things together to create. And I love it. I loved it. And then I realized I could do it for a living. And then I started teaching it. And oh my goodness, there's nothing better than giving a kid that same light bulb moment as I had. Cut this, put it here. And they're like, whoa, I can do something. It's giving them self-worth, you know what I mean? Or putting them on stage. And because, man, you know how it is. Acting is rough. You have to put yourself out there. And so as a teacher, with these kids, you're like, come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, do it like this. And you kind of teach them how to do it. And once they do it and make that connection with the other actor, that's a moment. But when they have a connection with the audience, even if it's just their parents and friends or whatever after the show saying, whoa, that was so good, you know, and knowing you had a little part in orchestrating it, but letting them kind of not take the credit for it, but they were part of it. You know what I mean?
It's special.
Yeah, having that moment where they're like, whoa, I made something. I'm valuable to society. I mean, that's a stretch, but that's kind of where it's a high that never stops unless there's a quarantine.
For real, man.
But even then, I'm encouraging my kids. When this first started, I emailed all my students and said, I don't care what you do, but create something. Just make something. I don't care what it is. You can make a food sculpture, go outside, build a tree house, and do whatever. And they're like, can we do Minecraft? Sure, whatever. Just go nuts. Two kids actually built the Center for the Arts in Minecraft.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's freaking incredible what these guys have come up with. Wish I could show you. It was really, really cool stuff.
You know what buzzed my mind is what I see and hear, well, just Russellville, but other schools across the nation doing with robotics.
Oh my goodness.
Are either your kids involved with robotics?
They're not. But Chrissy, our director at the Center for the Arts, one of her kids is. It's crazy what these kids can do. Man. My niece is doing it.
Yep. We have several kids from the gym that do it, and we always try and sponsor their team because I think it's cool as hell, man.
Yeah, and they're so good at it. I mean, they're going to nationals and stuff with it.
They are. Yeah.
Kids got it going on, and they're cool what they can do, like the robots programmed, and I think it's cool. It's like me playing with Legos when I was a kid, except they would just sit there.
I almost have every Harry Potter Lego set.
Oh, that's a financial investment right there.
Yeah, Cora and her mom teamed up and got me, apparently, I don't know if I'm supposed to know this and be saying it on the air like this, but the Hogwarts Castle's like my denouement.
Yeah. Your birthday's coming up, isn't it?
It is, man. Wait, did yours just happen?
No.
It's April. Is this in April, right?
Yeah.
It's the 21st.
23rd.
Mine's the 20th. Yeah.
420? Of course it is.
Yeah. Same. I always tell people this couple of dreary ones. Same as Hitler's birthday, same as the Columbine massacre.
Oh. Mine's Shakespeare's birthday and death day.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of friends of mine have April birthdays. My buddy Mike Page, he just had his on the 12th. My grandma, hers was on the 12th. So, yeah. Right on. Well, man, what's your favorite show you've ever been involved with on any level, whether it was directing or just like being involved with?
Probably Charlie Brown, the most recent Charlie Brown we did. This is the third time I've done Charlie Brown, because Avery was in it and got the director. And those kids are all in. Every one of the kids that were in the cat, well, there are only 6, but all 6 kids were in all region choir or all state, maybe all region for sure. Anyway, so when we started early, we started in the summer because it was going to be an early fall show. And they came over to the house actually and did a read through, and they'd all been practicing, which I didn't know, which was awesome. So when that first song started, I mean, they're all hitting their harmonies and they're all singing, and it just sounds amazing. And I go, ooh, this is going to be a good show. I've never done it when everybody's a really good singer. Because that's hard to do. It's hard to get good singers and actors. Usually, they're a good singer, but they're a little weak acting, or they're a good actor, but they're really weak singing. For example, when we did it at Clarksville for the first time, I think Evan was in it. Remember Evan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't sing. He was a good actor, though. Well, so was Tim. Remember Tim?
Yeah, Tim Peterson.
Yeah, he was good. Thanks for nothing, Tim. Remember that?
Yeah. Slimo.
I try to tell my kids about Slimo. They don't get it. They don't.
Oh, dude. Luke drops by and trains with me whenever he's in town. It's been probably a year since I've seen him, but man, I really love getting to catch up with him.
Yeah, him and Sarah are good people.
If they see this, I'm giving them a shout out right now.
What's up, Luke and Sarah?
I'm sure they'll watch it.
Well, next time they come in, we all need to get together.
That'd be great, man. I think I usually try and tip you off on like important people that we've shared. Guys, I remember when Josh moved back, I was sitting down to have lunch with him, and I'm like, dude, I'm eating lunch with Josh Wilson right now. But man, it is great getting to catch up with people and That's why I like, I mean, I do sit down at the podcast with a lot of people here at the table, but these distance casts, it's allowing me to check a lot of people off the list that, man, it's just schedules and lining out. Cause man, in the evenings when a lot of people are freed up, that's when I'm at the gym,
Right.
you know, teaching chokes and stuff. Yeah. Well, right on, man. Well, it's been great talking to you, Stahl. Anything you want to plug? Do you I guess everything's uncertain and you don't have any shows to promote.
That's right. Just when we get on the other side, everybody needs to get out and get into the arts.
Support the arts.
Support the arts, because it's hard for us creative type people, you know, to not create. We want to share with the world, and right now we can't, except for digital, and that's not how we're wired.
It is. It's a different kind of energy. It's like I've noticed that. Like when I saw you on the podcast today, I was like, "Oh, it's Stahl. I see him." Like, but it's just a little different. If I were to see you in person, I would.
Right.
I feel like I would light up a little bit more. You know, I mean, it's just.
It's definitely.
Yeah. So, well, man, it has been great catching up with you. I appreciate you taking the time out of your quarantine schedule.
I've been so swamped.
I know, man. I've been saying super busy. Isn't it funny how we work with time like that, though? Like, there's been several times I'm like stressed out about having so much stuff to do, and I'm not working either one of my jobs. Oh man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. Like every day's a Saturday. I don't know what to do. I keep thinking, well, work's Monday, but it never comes.
I've just tried to say not idle.
Yeah.
So that's the best I can do. But anyway. Well, man, I hope I talk to you soon. It's stay in touch. It's always great catching up.
Yeah, I will. Stay safe.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, buddy.
See ya.